Hey everyone, Eric Nelson here once again, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Well, I am back with another book review, which I will be reviewing Christopher Hitchens' God is Not Great. Now, before I get into my actual perspective of the book, let me just say that although I do agree with the majority of the book, I do have to say that I do uh, disagree with the title, because I do actually believe that the whole idea or the concept of God is actually supposed to be good, or it is supposed to bring peace on earth. I just think that why it is, or so like, what should be the title of it? Well, I think I think the problem of a God is when you have religious extremists who take it not only one step too far, but a million steps too far, where they base religion on everything, and if one thing does not fit well into their agenda, then of course they say that person should be punished by either exiling them or even going so far as to executing them, but also putting it on, or by like putting their murder in like a religious like ceremony, or in their case like an exorcism, when they in fact actually kill them off. Anyways, God is not great. Well, I think God is intended to be good. I just think that it's the religious extremists who would take it one step too far, and in essence making them not great. So anyway, back to the book. First of all, I have to say that I do like this book. Not only is it entertaining, but very informative. I like it because it actually woke me up. Right before I read this book, I was sort of like in between of believing and not believing, where I believed that there was a supreme uh, being who did look upon the earth while sort of like maintaining his do not mess with free will. Even though that if he did mess with the free will where it could have saved lives, like murders and rapes, well, yeah, I don't know. But also I had a lot of questions, like, couldn't he have prevented natural disasters, or couldn't he help preborn babies who were going to be born with a physical or mental problem? I mean, that's not free will. Natural disasters isn't free will. Well, it is actually. It's under God's free will. So, if there is a supreme being, why is he allowing all that to happen? I don't know. But once I heard of Christopher Hitchens and his work, I decided to just I just decided to pick up one of his books and see what he had to say. And although not all of my questions were answered, which, by the way, not all of your questions are going to be answered. As you live life, it's a life lesson that you'll learn, that you'll be searching you'll be searching your answers forever, or your answers or the answers will come to you, but not all of them. But anyway, why I also like this book is because he had exposed a lot of the quote unquote religious leaders, like quote unquote Reverends Pat Robertson, uh, Jerry Falwell, Ted Haggart, Billy Graham, and of course the one and only quote unquote Mother Teresa. But let me just, if I can read an excerpt from the book where he sort of like, I mean, he actually doesn't mention Falwell a lot in here, but here's something that I really think should have woke people up about Falwell. Now, first of all, we all remember the immediate aftermaths of 9/11. How we were all frightened, we were all sad. We just basically wanted to unite as one country, and keep each other company, care for each other, which is the normal reaction, and it should be the reaction. But it seems like Pat Robertson and Falwell were actually happy that it happened. I'm sorry, but I truly believe that they were happy that it happened, because here's what they had to say. Within hours, the quote unquote reverends Pat Robertson and Jerry Falwell had announced that the annihilation of their fellow creatures was a divine judgment on a secular society that tolerated homosexuality and abortion. Any response to that? I mean, okay, so if you believe in them, here's why 9/11 happened. Because 19 Islamic radicals, in other words, religious radicals, armed with box cutters, with the aid of Osama bin Laden, one of the most powerful terrorists in the world, defeated our national security system and crashed planes into towers, the Pentagon, and almost the White House. So, if any religion was involved, it was Islam. Homosexuality and abortion. How did that partake in the 9/11? It didn't. They were just there to sort of show off their agenda that abortion and homosexuality is evil, and they just wanted to include 9/11 in their agenda because people were frightened and vulnerable, and they felt like, hey, if we can implement these two issues into the attacks, maybe people will turn more against them in years to come. When in fact, the United States is more accepting to homosexuality and abortion. Oh, so, and then next is the Grand Mother Teresa. Now, I know it's kind of hard to say that she was evil. Now, I don't think she was evil as Christopher Hitchens claims that she was, but I don't know. I mean, she was portrayed as being this deeply religious person who went all around the world trying to help the needy, help the poor, and she always felt that the Almighty God was right by her side, and that they were almost like Batman and Robin fighting the poverty lines. When in fact, years after her passing, several of her notes were found, and it was discovered that she had extreme doubts about the existence of the Almighty God. Now, if this was released to the press before she had passed away, oh, I can't even imagine what would happen to her. If not all of her, her followers and all that, you know what, I'm not saying that I would want her to feel any pain from them, but I kind of wish that would have surfaced before she had passed, because then she would have to she would basically have to explain to herself, to the whole world, why she would feel that way, and then it would cause an extreme debate on religion. So now I'm not going to go any more into too much detail in the book, because if you have seen in my other book reviews, I think it's up to you, the reader, to see for yourself and to read for yourself on the book. But now you would think that I would only recommend this to people who are a little confused on religion and where they stand, but I actually recommend this to everyone, because if you're religious, or if you're an atheist, or somewhere in between, I would say yes, pick this up. Not just so that you can be entertained like all other books do, or informed, but, well, of course, to be informed, but for the religious people, the extreme religious people who take it one step too far, or many steps too far, you need a wake-up call. And to the extreme atheists who say, I know that there is no God, you need a wake-up call as well. Because Christopher Hitchens, now I'm not saying that he is the master of atheism, well, no, but he was a very smart guy, and he knew that a true atheist does not say that we know that there is no God. A true atheist says that we do not know. But here's proof that shows that it is not how it is portrayed in the media. So basically, a true atheist does not say that we know that there is no God. A true atheist says that we do not know. That's not being agnostic. Agnostic means that you do not know where you stand on religion, whether you're religious or not, sort of like how I was before I bought this book. So I recommend this book to all of those people too, who are not sure where they are. And of course, if you're a little, if you lean a little bit towards religion or towards atheism, where you're not in the exact middle, yeah, pick this up too. So anyway, folks, the book is Christopher Hitchens' God is Not Great, and I hope to see you all at the bookstore or the IO bookstore. And me not being a religious person, I still and always will bid everybody peace.